You're unhelpful when you are overly overly criticizing them or nagging. Okay, they say nagging because you have to like be their mother a lot of times. A woman is a help me, and sometimes she has to remind you more than one time, but that doesn't mean she's nagging you. But some women, they do nag. And it's like you don't realize that nagging or browbeating or overstepping your bounds in the manner that you are constantly repeating yourself is really pushing people away, and it's making them not want to be bothered with you. They heard you, but they're going to purposely not listen to you because you nagging now, and you being overly critical. You don't want to be overly critical. And a lot of women, they had questions like, what makes a good woman a good woman? What makes a bad woman a bad woman? Here's a list. Here's a list. Pay attention. Pay attention. Might want to share this with some people who had that question. Okay, so number two, you making fun of him. Oh my God, sisters, if you married, you definitely don't want to make fun of your husband. At least not, outside of a loving manner. And you got to still toe the line, because if you say something so emasculating, it's going to cut you short too. So you're going to cut him and you're going to cut yourself short. Okay. It's already taking some pills to do what it do, but there's a pill for that. So don't keep cutting yourself short. If you have anxiety and they getting on your last nerve and you have to take that medicine because the doctor said, hey, you have anxiety, you might want to take that before you sit there and cut them too short. Don't cut them too short, sis. Don't cut them too short. You hurting his feelings making fun of him instead of lifting him up by making fun. Like, oh yeah, you used to not get such a great haircut, but you're doing it now. You found somebody now. At first they was taking your money, but you found somebody. And that's good for you. Good for you. Meanwhile, we women gonna wear these hair wraps because our hair is not gonna stay in a full agreement with us throughout the day. It might look all right when we're in the mirror getting fixed up and ready and going to the beauty salon and getting it and paying all that, but it's gonna start acting up after a while. And it's like, woo, what's she doing? What's she doing? She got her hair combed, but she got that wrap on. Okay. Because you're not gonna control me. But there's some sisters out here that they say, well, look, I'm just gonna throw on a wig or whatever suit you. But a lot of times men make fun and they don't think that we got something coming back for them, and then we come hit them hard. Then they want to cry, you wound me too deep, you cut me too deep. Men are super sensitive. They make it seem like they not, but they are. So you have to be really careful about how you make fun of them, okay? And now we have the comparing him to others. Oh my God. If you are comparing your husband to another man, be ready for it, sis. Be ready. If you compare your lover to another man or previous lovers, oh my God, be ready for it. Hey, sis, missing you. Take care of yourself. And stay tuned. Stay tuned. I love you in the comments. So look, it's like you comparing apples and oranges. And the apple is never going to taste like the orange. It's never going to look like the orange. It's going to have some similarities, some similar benefits, but you want to be very careful in comparison, because you see how men love to compare women. And it's like, hey, Matthew, thank you for coming. And it hurts women's feelings because now they're getting a peek into the inner thoughts and feelings in the heart of what a man is thinking when he's comparing the woman he has to the woman he used to have, the woman he thought he has, or whatever. So make sure you understand, just like he, getting hurt by the comparison, you getting hurt by the comparison. And you want the comparison to be more of a positive criticism. Like you want to make it build you up, not tear you down. So you could compare, but just be mindful of the way you're comparing. It is okay if you say, oh, I really like the way you are doing things now. But in comparison, you used to just follow the crowd. You used to do like a lot of the other men do. And a lot of times women, we sit there, we look at the comparison like you have to be like the other chick. You have to be like the other sister. You have to be like somebody that they're comparing you to. Don't do that to yourself, because each person is unique and different, and they have something unique and different to offer, and that's okay. That's okay. So don't do that to him, and don't do it to yourself. Now, we also have disrespecting him publicly. We have so many women out here that don't understand how they're disrespecting a man publicly, or they'll get back at the man because you disrespected me, so now I'm gonna disrespect you. And it's like you playing tit for tat, and of course it's gonna get to the point where somebody gonna get cut so deep there's no coming back from that. And if you intend to be with somebody for the long term, you have to be really careful to bridle your tongue and not hurt them too bad, because there's no coming back from some of that, some of the disrespect publicly. Now, if you publicly disrespecting somebody, you got to constantly get back on there and reaffirm that that's not what you meant. You got to keep telling the world, you got to keep telling the masses until everybody believes you and everybody forgives you. And then everybody forgets. You know how long that could be? So just avoid it altogether. I try hard not to do things I have to apologize for. A lot of people say I can't be for real, but when you turn around, how many apologies I got to issue out? That's all I'm saying. So, try that method. Try that method. So, also, there's demeaning him in front of his children. I posted on social media, on Facebook. It was a TikTok that I saw, and I saw how it was a couple who was sharing parenting, and the woman didn't want the son to be feeling emotional by the visit that he had with his father, being overly emotional, and the father felt some type of way because not only was the son not acting in the manner in which the father was pleased with, he felt that the mother was raising him to be effeminate as opposed to being a man, and then blamed his sexual preferences on her, making him too emotional and effeminate. And meanwhile, you doing all of this talking like that in front of the child. That's some conversation that's between adults that you all should have had behind closed doors. And it should stay behind closed doors, because it's not just about you demeaning him in front of his children, but it's about you saying the things that's coming out your mouth and you thinking it's for a good cause, but it's hurting the child. And that's one of the things that we don't get to emphasize enough. We don't understand how we're hurting the children. You got to consider that more often. Hey, Eddie, thank you for coming. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. A lot of times we don't see the victims in the situations like we should see the victims. And then when the person has these traumas that we can't really see how we are accountable for it, or we don't want to take the credit for it, or we don't want to take the blame, because really that's what it is. Oh, that's fine. I know you're tired. It's like the facts are stubborn. Facts are stubborn. And the child, though they may love you, yeah, it was your fault. It was some things that you said that was hurtful. They didn't know how to deal with it. And this is one of the results of it. But you can turn that around by explaining to everybody, you didn't mean it that way. You were emotional. Some things were said that you didn't feel like, but you was conditioned that if I say this is going to hurt them. This is going to hurt them real bad. And they're going to stop coming for me. They're going to stop clapping back. They're going to stop attacking me in a manner which is going to make me say some things that I probably shouldn't say, or I'm definitely going to have to apologize for later. So you have to be more mindful when you are demeaning the child's parent right in front of them. What's another one? Challenging his spirituality or his manhood. You know how some women get mad at a man and say, "Oh, you think you so right? You think you so right with God? Well, you sinning, you backsliding, or you ain't no real man because you can't even do X, Y, Z, or some sort of challenge that you throw in his face that he failed at, or it took multiple chances for him to actually accomplish the goal." Women love to throw that in a man's face. I don't care if that's your wife, your girlfriend, your sister, your mama. Women love to do that because it's another way for a woman to have the strength to hurt the man back. So when you are hurting a man, you don't realize how deep is really affecting him. You just see him as this strong person. And you like, all right, you coming for me. You're attacking me. I'm a woman. I'm emotional. You may not know how emotional I am in this moment because I'm going through something right now. And you coming for me. I got you. I got you. I got a clap back that's going to hurt you so bad. You're going to feel like you're going to feel this one for a minute. You're going to feel it. And it's like, you're attacking a man in such a way that not only are they going to feel it for a good length of time, but they're going to come back at you, sis. They're going to come back and try to hurt you even more. Yes, you know how to hurt a man because you're a helpmeet. You close to his heart. So you know his heart. Even when he didn't know that you were listening to him, that you were listening to how his heart feels, you were receptive of how to love him. You also learned how to hurt him. And then you took that information and you used it to hurt him when he hurt you. He don't see that he hurt you. All he sees is you hurting him. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. I'm not saying announce that, oh, you remember when you said that to hurt me? Well, and now you blot out, you diarrhea at the mouth, hurting him back. It is a good way to identify why you are attacking him so he can learn to do better, but it's not necessarily the most positive approach because it may not have the desired outcome. You might get into a bit of a conflict, physical conflict with that one. So you might want to be careful challenging a man's manhood. Okay, and then there's number 7. Constantly telling him what he should and should not do. You overstepping your bounds. You shouldn't tell nobody what they should and shouldn't do at a certain age, especially a grown man. You could tell them in such a way. Okay, for example, if my husband, I'm gonna use me as an example. If Eddie wants to do something, and I say, okay, yep, you could do that, but it might be better if you do it this way. It might be some stuff that he don't have no business doing. And I'll say, okay, yep, you sure can do that. Why? Because he got free will. I can't control his free will. That's a grown man. That's my husband. That's is a grown man still. And even when we were dating, I told him, when we were dating, he's a writer and he likes to write and he wants to do various things that artists do. And I say, yep, you could do all of that. But we can only have as many kids as you can afford. So you have to do what you want to do, but do what you have to do. Okay, so that's the big difference. It's the way you approach somebody, even though you may not be in full agreement with what it is, because you can see the long term. You can forecast how this might not work out in a productive manner or be as stable as you really want it to be. But you can see in telling him, in the way that you tell him with love and kindness, that's going to do something different than you sitting there being nasty about it. And then there's a lot of women out there that's like, I don't know what makes a good woman from a different woman. What's the difference between a good woman and a bad woman? I'm telling you, I hope you paying attention, because it's not that you married or not married, because you still the same person. You just married or not married. You have to have these abilities already without having somebody to say, oh, well, I validate you as being a good person or a good wife or a good sister or whatever. You just are what you are. What you say, sis? It's all in it's all in the delivery. We can learn to say what we need to say without sounding aggressive or mean-spirited. Same message, different outcome. Exactly. See, Jackie get it. Jackie get it. And it's a whole lot of women out there that get it and understand it. Even though you've been hurt, and even though that person may not have your best interest at heart, still be nice, because what you do gonna come back on you, and it's coming worse or in an abundance than what you put it out. So you might want to be really careful with that. And then number 8 is complaining, always having something negative to say. Oh my goodness. It's not just us ladies, it's men too. So this women, though it's Women's Month, it's applicable to men too. You know, women, they say, have a tendency of saying the most negative things, especially because they're at home raising the kids, regardless of if they go to work, not just work, but school, PTA meetings, whatever other kind of meetings, jack of all trades. You wearing multiple hats, ladies, and you are sitting there complaining or speaking only the negative things in your day, because mainly you need a sounding board. They don't understand you need a sounding board. You may be speaking out those things because you can't keep that inside. They don't understand that. All they know is every time they turn around, you saying something negative. And it might be true. And you may not think of it that way because you're like, well, I'm just sorting through some things out loud. I'm just, getting it off my chest. I'm just, not holding that dark energy in. I'm expelling it. And you should be able to, give me a outlet, give me a vent, give me a moment. Let me get it out. And sometimes men could just be like, oh, well, she always complaining. She always got something negative to say. I can't stand to be around her. And so they'll go to the bar, they'll go to the club, they'll go to a strip joint just to get away from all the nagging and the negative talking all the time, because, that man got to go to work. Hella high water, he got to go to work, because you understand we're not going to get paid the same. Even if we had the same job, we're not going to get paid the same. So that means they got to work. That means they got to go out there and make that money. So you can't tear him down too much, sis. You can't tear that man down too much, because he got to go out there and do what he got to do and have enough energy to do that and not get fired for cursing folks out, going postal. Now he on the news because he done went postal. And they don't know, but that was the last straw, because you done cut him deep at home. Now he go to work and he ain't got but one straw left, and they took that one. So yeah, that broke the camel's back. So now he on the news going postal. News, social media, whatever. He going postal, honey. And you looking like, man, did I have anything to do with that? Did I contribute to that? Man. But anyway, let's move on to number 9. Trying to control or manipulate with your tears. Oh my God, ladies, sisters. It's not just us. Men do the same thing. They always act like, it's so profound when a man cries or shed a tear. But they use their tears to manipulate us as well. But it's so much more often seen in women, how women are using their tears to control a situation or a person. For example, if you're a mom and you cry all the time because you're trying to control your kids, you're trying to control your family members, your lovers, or, whomever it is, that whole crying to manipulate, it's not working. It's not working. It is causing problems. I always said, a man can ruin a good time for the moment, but a woman, she can ruin a situation for generations, because that's how much more profound and epic her contributions are, whether it's positive contribution or negative contribution, whether your efforts are positively or negatively reinforcing an act or a situation. You have a far greater impact on what happens in this world than you realize. And once we realize our power and use it for good, oh my God, it's going to be one. It's going to be such a fantastic time. We're going to change some things for the better. Lovers, yes, because men are not the only ones that have multiple lovers. Women out here, they have multiple lovers, multiple love interests. Mainly because some women, they may not necessarily be physically sexually involved with the lovers. There's different ways that women see lovers. There's the guy that she confides in all the time, and he's her best friend, like a brother, like a big brother, and she needs that protection of a big brother or a little brother who she loves on, coddles, and takes care of. And that's another love that's extremely intimate, and she needs all of these things, not just a physical sexual love. Because let me tell you something, you young guys, you young people, it's not all that. That few seconds that you getting of as a intimate physical sexual lover is not the end all to be all. I'm just saying, don't go way out of your way believing that, and then when it doesn't happen, you sitting there thinking it's you or it's them, and then you going around hopping from one person to another. It's not, because it's just not like that. So anyway, that leads me right to the number 10, and we're going to stop at 10. But the number 10 problem of the women of today is they withhold sex. You can't use sex as a weapon. Sex is not a weapon, nor is it a reward. It is a necessity of life. It is a connection that you have to have. And a lot of times, for example, there was somebody on Facebook who made a comment, and he was saying, he wanted me to say certain things, and I wouldn't say it. I understand what you're trying to get me to say, but I'm not going to say that because it's a lie. You have to understand that once a person has felt sex and that fulfillment, that itch now is there. Now it's like, okay, now I'm going to make some decisions, whether it's good or bad, because I have this itch I want to scratch, and I got to scratch it. So this is what I'm going to do. This is the tool I will use in order to scratch that itch. So you use it as a weapon or a manipulative tool, and you hurting not just the person, but you hurting yourself. And now you exposing yourself to some decisions that you might not be happy with that you made, but you made it. What'd you say, Eddie? It is profound when a man cries. Sometimes his tears are the last sign of resistance. You better believe it affects his children and the way they raise their children. Yeah, I'm not in any way degrading the significance of anyone's tears. What I'm saying is, by the way that people are using the tears as a tool of manipulation, you already, in and of your doing your own deeds, have degraded the tears and the significance and the profundity of it, to say this is nothing, this is not significant, this doesn't mean anything, this is just yet another way for me to control you, for me to manipulate you, for me to do what I want to do, and justify it by me crying and saying, hey, I'm gonna cry if you don't. Hey, I'm gonna cry if you don't. Hey, I'm gonna cry unless you do. So yeah. Now, if you're doing this before you marry, it's definitely the one of the contributing factors to why a man would see you and hesitate to attach himself to you in the manner and the whole vows to God and till death do us part. Because yeah, they can definitely see it's gonna be a struggle trying to be with you on the long term. Yeah, so that's definitely not going to help them say, oh yeah, this is the woman I gotta marry. It is a way for you to behave in a manner in which gets a man to understand that you are that person for them. And don't stick around if they are not doing what they should be doing. Women need security and love, and men need honor and respect. And it's like you saying the same thing. You saying love me, but you saying it in different ways. A woman's saying it as give me security and give me love. A man is saying give me honor and give me respect. But both of y'all are saying give me love. And it's all about the man's or woman's mentality in the moment that makes them feel like you've accomplished this goal. And modern times contribute to how we feel that you have fulfilled those steps. So it's like men are saying, oh, well, that was dishonorable when you did that. Oh, you disrespected me now. And everything seems to disrespect some men. And some women, they constantly say things like, oh, I don't feel secure. I don't feel safe. I don't feel like you being a man. So that's why that definitely made the top 10 list that I had to share. So let's go over how you should go with these things. Instead, of being unhelpful with your criticism and nagging, you should say things like, hey, you haven't, I understand you're tired and you're not feeling well. Point all that out so they understand that you have an understanding. Yes, this is how I do Eddie. I know you're tired, but I really got to tell you, that light is not working. We got to do something about that. And it's detrimental because I can't see and the kids can't see. It's not that you nagging, but if he doesn't do it, you got to come back, give him a couple of days and come back and say it again. But sometimes guys forget because they're going through some stuff too. So you got to give them ability to, try and remind them, but not in a negative, nagging, pulling at them, pointing out how they failed to provide the security you need. Sean Nancy says, yes, all tears are serious and should be taken as such, all except for crocodile tears. Those things only cry for food. A lot of times folks crying and it's crocodile tears, and some folks can't differentiate the difference. They can't tell the difference. They can't differentiate it from one thing, from real to fake. Okay. So like I said earlier, number 2 was making fun of him. You can make fun of him, but make sure he's in a safe space. Make sure he's in a good mental safe space and he's in a physical safe space, so that when you make fun of him, you building them up. You saying things like, man, I remember when you used to wear those pro wing gym shoes, but then I upgraded you. Now you wearing these shoes that's orthopedic. I ain't talking about those Jordans and all that sort of thing. I'm talking about orthopedic. So I want you to walk right. I want you to run right. I want you to be able to go to work and do that thing. So that's what I'm talking about. All these things is building them up, ladies, so he can go to work, so he can come home and say, hey, I had a hard day. What you got for me, boo? And it'd be like, I got some meat. What Pastor Shirley Caesar say? Some beans, greens, tomatoes, potatoes. Yeah, you got something for them to eat, and you got enough, sweets too. Okay. And then number 3 was comparing him to other men. You could compare your man to another man in such a way that it builds him up as opposed to tear him down. You could say, well, most men would have gave up by now, but you keep going. And that's phenomenal. That's why we married. I wouldn't be able to be with another man because he would have long gave up by now. That's what you got to do when you compare your man to another man. You have to build him up. A good woman builds her house. A bad woman tears it down. So Number 4 was disrespecting him publicly. Now, ladies, I don't think there's too much way around that one, because sometimes we don't know we disrespected him publicly because we're not really sure what he will consider disrespectful, especially considering how they are emotional, they are dramatic, all the stuff that they claim they are, okay? Doubly, okay? And they sensitive about it. Oh my God, they super sensitive. You can't say boo, baby, bye. And publicly, oh my, oh my. So yeah, um, there's no way around that one. So when it happens, I'll say that. When it happens, be ready to be apologetic. Let them know, what I didn't know that hurt your feelings because we're accustomed to doing this. Or I didn't know that would hurt your feelings because everybody else was saying it. That didn't exactly get Will Smith very far. But I'm just saying, when it happens, you just got to be ready to be apologetic. Number 5 was demeaning him in front of his children. Now, sometimes, ladies, that's just going to happen. Same with the men. That's just going to happen. But what we have to understand is when the transgression occurs, when it happens, we're learning. We're learning. And a part of learning is being apologetic, being humble enough to say, oh, man, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to cut you that deep. I didn't mean to hurt you that bad. So let me apologize. Let me tell you how I didn't view it that way. So you will understand I did not intend to hurt you that bad, but I did intend to hurt you, just not that bad. And you got to make sure you apologize to the child because you just tore down their parent in front of them. They already feel some type of way. They're already learning and growing and trying to experience this world. You can't keep, tearing them down unintentionally and not on purpose saying you sorry, and on purpose overly apologetic for all the things that's hurting them and trying to help them understand. Look, baby, mama don't know. Look, honey, mama got her feelings hurt, and this just what that look like. I'm human. You got to be real with your children so that they know what to think and how to feel and how to take that. And you never know, out of the mouths of babes, they might tell you something that edifies you and helps you along your way. You don't know. So number 6, challenging his spirituality and manhood. You can't tell a man, oh, you think everybody think you so good, but you wronger than 2 left shoes. And if anybody knew, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Try to tell him in a loving way. Try to tell him in a loving way. For example, a good woman is not going to follow a man doing the wrong thing. So she has to tell him, no, honey, you wrong. You wrong than 2 left shoes. But it's the approach. You could tell him, look, I didn't like the way you did that. I didn't like the way you said that. So when we were in public and you said that or you did that, that's why I was quiet. That's why I kind of faded behind you instead of standing beside you. That's why my body actions and my verbal actions changed to let you know, time to go. No, that's not right. We're not doing that. I'm not in agreement with that. You have to be careful of the way you present yourself at all times, because somebody is reading your body language. They reading the words you saying. They reading it between the lines, all kind of things. And not just somebody, but your husband, your mate, the person you trying to secure a relationship with, and the person you looking for security and love from. Love, or should I say affection. Women want security and affection, meaning security and love. But number 7, constantly telling him what he should or shouldn't do. There's a way to do this. There's a way to do it, because like I said, a good woman is not going to follow a man to damnation. We're not going to do that one. He going the wrong way and we're going to keep following. No, we're not. No, we're not. And he's going to look around and feel betrayed because you won't be there. But you say something. You got to say something first. Don't just fade into the distance. Say something before you disappear on them and be like, oh, yeah, you was going the wrong way. I couldn't go that way. Well, why didn't you say something? Well, you were kind of caught up in it. You were raptured in the moment and I didn't want to ruin it for you. Oh, you bogus. You are shady. Sean Anthony says, I think anything that may be a reference to if only the walls could talk, maybe make many people just a little hurt or insulted. Yeah. And a lot of times we don't know what will hurt somebody or insult them. And that's why we have to be ready to be humbled and apologetic so we can say, you know what? I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it like that. I wanted to hurt you. Yeah, don't lie. Don't lie. You wanted to hurt them. Don't lie, because that's not helping matters. I wanted to hurt you, but I didn't want to hurt you that bad. I wanted to tell you the truth. I just didn't want it to hurt you. It's a way that you say things that help people to understand that they can trust you and they can trust loving you. So then there was number 8, complaining and always having something negative to say. You can complain and have negative things to say, but you can do it in such a positive way that it's actually building the person up. For example, you have many things on the to-do list for your man to do. And that man has not done many of those things. And it's day after day after month after year now. And then it's been years and he's still trying to do the same to-do list. Well, it's not going to be a good idea to keep telling him and complaining and having negative things to say about it. So you got to give him positive praises, positive reinforcement to negative behaviors even. You have to say, you know what? You didn't really get to working on that car today. And I know that's an antique and it's your heart and you really want to do it. But I know you was tired today. But, maybe tomorrow you'll get to it. But yeah, it's been in there for a long time. It's been a couple of years, but you coming along. Did that part come yet? Did that job offer come yet? I know you out there looking for a job because I'm out here working my butt off and you staying home and taking care of the kids. You're doing a good job, Dad, Mom. You're doing a good job. But did that job offer come in yet? Yeah. Be positive, building up instead of tearing down. It's something negative that you're saying, but you're saying it in a loving way. You're saying it in a way that helps him not be insulted or hurt or demeaned by what you're saying, because it's the truth and you have to tell the truth. What you say, Pastor? Help somebody. If you praise him, he might move. He just might. And that's coming from a man. So he know what it takes to help other men to move. He might move if you tell him. And if you do it in a nice way, he might surprise you by doing more than just moving. He might do above and beyond because you were so sweet. Yes, a reason why Eddie keep coming home. I'm telling you, I tell him, you don't have to come back. You got choices. I can't stop you, and I'm not jumping on the bushes on you. You gonna do what you gonna do, and that's between you and God. But he keep coming back, so I might be doing something right. I don't know. Or he just don't have options. I don't know, boy. Maybe it's a little bit from everything. Maybe he like, well, I fear God, so I'm gonna keep coming back to her crazy behind. I don't know. That might be the one. Though. I'm just saying. Number 9, trying to control and manipulate with your tears. If we continue to use tears to manipulate people, it's going to degrade it to the point where nobody's going to listen to you. You are now the boy who cried wolf, and you are going to die on that hill. You cannot sit there and set yourself up and not see that you set yourself up for that fall. So don't control people with your tears and say, oh, well, I was crying because you didn't do or you won't do or you could do or you said. Don't do that. Don't do that. Suck it up. Go somewhere else and cry. And then tell him how he did XYZ to hurt you or whatever, insult you or whatever. Don't use your tears to do it. You have to make sure you stay controlled, because that's sort of imbalance of control and temper. That's not doing anything positive. It's more so pushing anybody away than pulling them to you. Exactly, Jackie. Temper tantrum tears. Hello. Say that 10 times fast. Temper tantrum tears. Say that 10 times fast. Now that brings me to the last point, number 10, withholding sex. You can't hold. Okay. A lot of times we feel this temptation, and this temptation comes out of nowhere and it's always lingering. It's just that we're not really giving as much attention and voice to it, but it's always there. And when you withhold sex from your partner or your mate, it's like, here I am. Remember me? Temptation. And we're not doing anything with the right person. So we got to do it with somebody. So what are we going to do? We're going to take this opportunity. We taking a break from the relationship. Now we're going to go out here and experience some things. We're going to experiment with other people. That's not going to work right. And that's going to make him understand that whenever you all are not on good terms, he's going to be looking for you to hurt him like that. And if he can't trust you with your body, then he can't trust you with his heart and his body. Same thing with men. A lot of men are out here and they're like, well, you know, she doing it. Yeah, you doing it too. I'm gonna have to use some scriptures because I was gonna have a guest on and she was gonna do the scripture thing because I don't do the quoting of the scriptures. But in 1 Peter 3:1, it says, "Wives, be submissive to your husband, that even if some do not obey the word," that means the spiritual way, in the way it's supposed to be, that they without a word may be won by the conduct of their wives. People got it so twisted, they go around and say women supposed to be submissive to men. That's not what it said. That's not what it said. Does it pass the certain? That's not what it said. And now you go and ask them, well, what part of the Bible you get that from? You go read it for yourself. It didn't say women be submissive to men. It said wives be submissive to your husband. And then there was a purpose. There was a purpose for that submission. It is to win him without a word. So you can't imagine how profound your words are in understanding that you can win somebody over from doing the wrong thing to doing the right thing, and you haven't even said a word. Baby, bye. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing when you twerking. You know what you're doing when you put on them red bottoms and nothing else. You know when you put on his favorite color. You know what you're doing. So use that power to conduct yourself in a manner which is positively reinforcing the desired behavior you want to see from your man or any man. I'm not saying go around and, sleep with people. I'm saying your conduct, the way you conduct yourself, that is what's signaling to other people how they should behave around you. Okay. I'm always honorable, respectful, and at all times and any times humble enough to a fault where I'm always thinking and considering, oh, that might hurt somebody's feelings, even if I'm not perfect, because I'm a mess up, but I'm ready to apologize. I ain't perfect, but God, he step in and help out with that. God changes people. We just love them. We're not there to overstep our bounds and tell them, browbeat them and tell them what to do and how to do it and just where to get off. That's not your job. You're not everybody's mama. And at a certain age of a child, they not listening to you tell them that, and you will anger or bring that child to wrath if you do that. You cannot do that at a certain time, mainly because it'll hurt your health. Do you think about that? It's hurting your health. Now, single women, the very thing that men need, a good woman already is. And the very thing a woman needs, the man who wants her, he has to show her, not you telling him, forcing his hand and manipulating him with sex and tears. That's not how it's done. And you got to understand that when you do that, you're doing it wrong, and it's not going to last long. Ill got goods don't last long. It says, let a man show you and tell him when he's short. Then let him figure it out. Let him figure it out. If you with a man, you feel like he's too stupid, he can't do that for you, you with the wrong man. Trust him. That's how you honor and respect him. Give him the honor and respect he's due to understand. Yeah, he know what he did, and he knows how to fix it too. And he don't have to guess when he's asking you and telling you, what did I do? Tell him. Ain't no mind reader. If you wanted to marry a mind reader, you wanted to date a mind reader, you want to be with a mind reader, you'd have looked a little bit longer, a little bit harder. I'm just saying, stop acting like you really want him to read your mind when you really don't. So the whole purpose of wives to submit to their husbands and not men is because you'll confuse men. You confuse men. They're like, well, she did this and you won't do that. But that's the one you got to marry. That's the one you got to stay with because that other chick belonged to another man. Don't confuse that man. Don't confuse him. Then there's another part. It was the book of Ephesians. Oh my God, that book of Ephesians in the Bible is coming for everybody. Okay. It's not missing a soul. It's telling everybody from head to toe. And it's just if you flip the pages, you're going to miss it. That's how small the book of Ephesians is. You flip it through the pages, you're going to miss it. But it's right in there with some work right after the book of prayers and Proverbs, which is wisdom. It's in between there somewhere, right before I think I ain't no Bible scholar, but it might be right before the book of Matthew, before you get to the New Testament, or it might be early in the book of New Testament. I don't remember. But anyway, it says, wives, submit to your own husbands. Yeah, not to somebody else's husband, because you confusing them guys. They are confused. And whose fault is it? It's yours. And why is it your fault? Because you had no intention on being with that man. I'm just saying, you didn't have no intentions on being with that man. Why are you confusing him? Stop telling them that. What you say? It's in the book of it's in the New Testament. I appreciate you not letting me go to hell for that lie. I'm just saying. I said I don't know. I ain't no Bible scholar. I just do what I can. I do what I can. But anyway, the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 22 through 24, it says for wives to submit to their own husbands. Now, why do you think it said that? All the way back then, it's telling you submit to your own husband. There was some things going on back then. Ain't nothing new under the sun. That's what it say. What is it? Not in the book of Proverbs, but the book right after it. It said, there's nothing new under the sun, because all that wisdom you was collecting and everything, now you get to this new book and you like, well, man, what was the purpose of having all this knowledge and wisdom? There's nothing new under the sun. Submit to your own husband. They was doing some things back then. They still doing it now. I'm just saying, we still outside the Garden of Eden, and that's what's going on. Ain't no different news, just a different day. And it says to submit to your own husband as unto the Lord. Nobody doing that. Nobody doing that. I'm just going to put it out there. The women are like, man, even the good ones, I can't submit to you as I do the Lord because you shady. You got some things you doing wrong, and I ain't going to give you that kind of power over me. It's sad. It's sad. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out. And then the men have to understand that as a head, as the lead, you should correct yourself and use that she's telling you the reason why she can't do it. Change it. Correct yourself. That's all I'm saying. Yes, Ecclesiastes says there's nothing new under the sun. See, Pastor Sarton on it today. He is on it. I appreciate you being in them comments, Pastor Sarton. And then it says, for the husband is the head of the wife, as also, now we already know that the man slipping as the head of the wife. I'm just saying, because he has to make sure that he's correcting her and giving her time and patience in order to help her, because you have to mold that woman. That woman out there, she being a good thing already. Now you have to mold her to fit you and what you want, your heart's desire. But you kind of slipping on that because you want her to go to God for it. God gonna do it with certain things. I'm just saying, you got to put in that work. You got the faith. You got to put in that work. It says also, so for the husband is the head of the wife, as also Christ is the head of the church. I'm just going to say this. It's going to be some people mad at me, Pastor Sarton, for saying this. It ain't in your church. It ain't in your church. It ain't in all the churches. But some of these men ain't the head of the church, and some of these men they're not letting Christ be the head of the church, and the pastors who are the heads and accountable for being the head, they not even being the head. They are letting the people, imagine that, be the head. The laymen, the lay persons, they're controlling what's happening in the church. That's not what I read, though. I'm just saying. I ain't no Bible scholar. I ain't exactly oblivious to what it's supposed to say. I know what it's saying, but yeah, it's not what I'm seeing all the time. They letting the people, the lay persons who don't even want to come to church, dictate what's happening in the church. Imagine that. That wasn't in the Bible. But anyway, it says, as also Christ is head of the church. I think we need to go back and harp on that. That's why I said it again, because we don't understand who the head of the church is. But anyway, Jesus came and he kept showing everybody, look, go back to the Father, the Father, the Father, the Father. He doing all the miracles, and everybody's like, well, you doing the work. You the body doing the work. You the vessel doing the work. You doing the work. He said, no, it is the Father. Go to the Father. These people weren't listening. Adam and Eve didn't either, but look at where that got us. Okay, and then it says, and he is the savior of the body. So Christ is the savior of the body. People, look, women, this is one thing I see a lot of in women. They're trying to be the body, the body's savior. You can't do God's job. You're overstepping your bounds. You can't be God's, look, God don't need your help like that. All he told you to do was love, and you can't even do that. He told you love unconditionally, and you can't even do that. You find every excuse to validate the reason that you are not going to do that. Think about that for a minute. But anyway, because, you know, while you're sitting there overstepping your bounds and trying to save the body, no. God is the savior of the body and the soul. All you need to do is love the way you supposed to love. God has many parts, but he's one body, and you doing the most. You can't do that. That's why you have this cognitive dissonance. It's got you going out here looking like you don't know what you're doing. When you know what you're doing, you just don't know how to do it, how to accomplish the desired goal. But it continues on and it says, therefore, just as the church is subject to Christ. Oh, imagine that. Imagine that, because I promise you, it seems like a lot of church folks don't realize they subject to something. They seem like they above everybody and everything, and they don't care not to let you know that they're over you and over everything. Then they gonna control you because they're controlling the church instead of Christ. Isn't that something? It says, therefore, just as the church is subject to Christ. Subject meaning you are submissive to God's will. And we not seeing that. These viral videos, they not seeing that. I'm just saying. It's not my church. I'm saying it's not happening in my church. It's not happening with Rodney, and it's not happening with Pastor Sarton. I mean, just saying. What you say? Walter said, I know I keep saying this, but your whole production is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I don't feel it, but I appreciate you saying it. I'm just trying to do something, and then I'm going to do this for free as much as I possibly can for as long as I'm led to do it. And then I'm going to go back into the background as you have always known me to be. What you say, Pastor Sarton? Submitted to God's authority. Yeah, I wish we could see it in the church more than just your church, more than just New Nation Ministries, more than just it's not enough. And that one spark, the sparks that are out there should generate enough power that it radiates throughout the churches, not just the one church here and there sprinkled. I'm gonna leave it alone, because this ain't that. This ain't church. I'm just saying. But anyway, and it says, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. That means be to your own husband in everything. So even though I help other men as a helpmate, because that is who I am, that is what I do. Thank you, sis. And it's not because I'm married to one man. I'm a helpmeet. That is what I do. And when I'm making a man rich because I'm helping them, and they're not even in my culture. It has nothing to do with that. They're not even in my house. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that, Teddy, can you come and get this? It has to do with the fact that I'm help me. This is what I do. So me helping other men, but I always reference my husband. I always have that kind of revere, that kind of love, that kind of attention to let everybody know, yes, I'm married, but I'm still going to be the helpmeet that I'm called to be. I'm still going to help in the manner in which I am supposed to help. I'm still going to do what I'm supposed to do because this is what I was called to do. Now, if you didn't see those episodes, go back and watch Adam and Eve. The first episode, how I spoke about, what a helpmate is and what we're supposed to do as a helpmate. It didn't start today. Today is the last episode in Women's History Month. And I want you to go back and watch that because these things build up on one another. And I'm almost out of time. So I'm going to wrap this up. It says, if you tell her to submit, you're doing it wrong. That's what the Bible's saying. Now, I summed it up. I paraphrased it because I don't like to quote. But if you keep on reading that book of Ephesians, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. If you tell her to submit to me, woman, I'm the head, I'm the husband. You supposed to submit to me. You supposed to do what I say do. Uh-oh. You what? Don't let her get that measuring tape out and embarrass you. I've seen some TikToks. These women are doing some things to let you know. Okay, you got that bass in your voice, but you better use it accordingly because she gonna get that tape measure out and show you this is you. This is your tone of voice right now. I'm gonna need it to match. I'm just saying. So the book of Ephesians chapter 5:25, a lot of people, a lot of preachers, a lot of people in this pulpit, a lot of leaders, a lot of heads, y'all better be mad at me. Some of them that's not right, that's not doing this. Some of them that I know are doing what I'm saying. So I know they are going to be on my side when I say this part. You know what it say. I saw Rodney on there. Rodney Jones quoting the Bible and ain't even reading it. He quoting it like he's reading it. I'm like, man, that's impressive. But okay, I can't do that. I ain't gonna even lie. I have to write it down. I have to write my own thoughts down so I can say it on the show because I don't do the camera. So you better believe it's impressive if a man is quoting the whole Bible like he the whole living movie. What is it called? Book of Eli. But anyway, I'm over my time, so I'm gonna get to it. Ephesians says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it to present. Now he's telling you why he gave himself for the church, so he can present himself as a church without a spot or a wrinkle. So he had to come down in order to do that. Because y'all wasn't getting it right, man. Y'all the heads of the church and y'all's ancestors y'all didn't get it right. And y'all didn't have the women up in there like that. So it wasn't us. I'm just saying, ladies, congratulations. It wasn't us. I'm just saying. It says men love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. And wife, reverence your husband. Single ladies, this is what's expected of you. Now, that's more profound than I have time for, but I'm gonna get into it a little bit because men don't want to get into the part where you coming up short, and that's why, as a head, the body is following. You the head, the body is following. Your heart is following your head because they don't have a choice. And the woman is your rib. She your side. She don't have a choice. This is what you have set the president for. This is what she has to do in order for her to be in alignment with what you consider love, what your changing concept of her being a loving wife, her being honorable to you, her being respectful to you. This your fault. This what you doing. But women, what do you want them to do? They have to walk away and then they have to stay away. Then you lose a good thing and you don't realize it till it's gone. And another man treasuring it the way you should have. What'd you say, Pastor Sarton? Men forget God gave authority to them, not just him. Yes, gave it to the both of them. So is there anything so is there is nothing to submit to? She will take charge. I'm going to say that you're saying that there's nothing that she can submit to and she can take charge. You know, a lot of times men get in their feelings and think that a woman is disrespecting him or dishonorable because she does do that. She does have to take lead. She does have to take charge. And he feels some type of way when she does. But you have to realize that a good woman, a good thing, she's going to do that regardless of your feelings about it. What did you say? If there is nothing. Okay. If there is nothing to submit to, she will take charge. Facts. Facts. Now he been married for a long time. He's been married for a long time. He been reading that Bible for a long time. He been preaching for a long time. He's speaking facts. And let me tell you, as a woman and as a good woman, I know my worth. If he don't have a plan, and I ask my husband, "What's your 5-year plan?" He get mad at me, and he think I'm psychology in him. But I ask, "What's your 5-year plan? You don't have no 5-year plan?" And I'll come back a little later. I'll wait, and I'll keep coming back. I'll give a long length of time so that he'll forget that I even asked the question, and then I'll come back and ask, so it's not nagging. And he still don't have a 5-year plan. But this time, I got the plan. You don't have a plan. I asked you what the plan was. You don't have a plan, and we still doing this together. We trying to work this out. I'm going to give you a plan, and this is what we're going to do. And when you come up with a plan, it better be because you praying, fasting, and consecrating, and now your plan gonna be better than my plan because that's what I did to get the plan. So you better have a better plan via that manner. I'm just saying. But if you don't, this is the plan. So a helpmeet has to do exactly what the head does, what the lead does, and more. So if you can't take charge when there's nothing, when he doesn't have any input, when he don't know which direction to go in, when he's not sure, he human. Let him be human. He's human. Let him be human. Don't throw it in his face. Don't think he ain't gonna throw it back in your face. Let him be human. And when he see that you can be that compassionate, your actions, that's the conduct the Bible is talking about. Your actions, your conduct. Now that's going to win him back over. That's going to make him go back to God and get some answers. That's going to make him go back and figure it out where the knowledge comes from. Now, a lot of us think that it comes from school. A lot of us think it comes from the preacher. A lot of us think it comes from somebody we want to succeed or be their successor. It's not. All of it comes from God. And if you study to show yourself approved, you'll find that that is the actual facts. And don't worry about it. I'll put it together in the book for you. It's coming. It's coming. I'm gonna put that out there as soon as I get a chance. I've been really busy. What Eddie say? My plan is to live. Really? You see how men get them vague answers, and we supposed to do what with that? What am I supposed to do with that as a good woman? He said, consequently, I always have a plan. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, ladies, you see what we working with? You see what we working with, guys? That vague answer. And it doesn't have anything to do with your intelligence. It doesn't have anything to do with your capability. It's a matter of fact, you're not giving me enough to work with. And a woman, she gonna give you 2, 3, 4 pages worth of something to work with. Like, here's the plan. This is the plan. And he gonna look like, I'm not reading all of that. You done wrote a dissertation. I can't read all of that. This is what we gonna do. Now he motivated to have a plan. I'm just saying. Now I know I done went over my time, but I had to get that last little bit out because so many times we are listening to the lies, and those lies it's not just tearing us down and causing us to tear each other down, but it's making us feel validated and turning over our inheritance, using our free will as a damnation, because now we're following along with the wrong thing and the wrong crowd. Yes, they will. Book. Yeah, sounds like my wife. Leave Jackie alone. Hey, Will. They will. Yeah, I love my wife. Yeah, I love you too. Okay, so I'm over my time, but I had to say that because I am tired of people tearing down the modern woman, and they don't understand that the head jacked up from the toe, from the crown of this head to the brain, and then you wonder what's wrong with the rest of the body. But women, a good woman ain't gonna follow that head in the wrong direction. That you're gonna look really, crazy with your body going this way, your head going that way. But I guarantee one thing, that head gonna eventually follow, because the body is more profound than just the head. I'm gonna leave you with that. Why? Because that's some shadiness that's just the shadiness I'm gonna do today. The head is just a small part of the rest of the entire body. Okay, if your body break down, your head can believe you can do some things, but your body will tell you, no, we not doing a thing. Glad she is using the mic better. Yes. Anyway, I hate this mic. I hate the camera. I'm just going to do what I can, but I appreciate you all appreciating it. But we have to realize the profound nature of a woman's strength. And women, you stop letting that head tell you, as the whole body, as the rest of the body, that you wrong when you know what you know. Come on, sis. Come on, international woman, women all over the world. What Esther say? If she perish, she perish. But she got to tell it. She got to do what she got to do. We got to do what we got to do as helpmeets, not just mates, but helpmeets. Yes, please like, share, support, give stars, donations, so that we can do more things. I made good on my word, and I showed some more videos of the aquarium, and I will keep doing that until I get the rest of the questions answered. I know I'm way behind on that, but you don't understand. I got all these different hats that I got to put on, and I got to do it right, and I got to be thorough. I'm not taking, somebody asked me if I was taking on any more clients. I don't have the time right now. There's certain things I got to get done, and I got to rush to redeem the lost time. So remember, mental health is physical wealth. See you next episode. Mental health is physical wealth.